Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing at the pink of health and staying safe, staying home amidst this pandemic. My name is Pranav Hegde, and in this video I would like to showcase a device which I would like to name AutoSap. Now, as the name suggests, it has to do something with automatic and plants. Basically, this device is an automatic irrigation system. How it works? Well, it measures the soil moisture, and if water is required, it starts the irrigation process. There are multiple advantages of this device. Well, to name a few in this video, one is that sometimes if you're busy and you don't get enough time to water your plants, well, this device just does it for you. You can just check it out off your list. And another application is, as a beginner, some people might find it difficult to calculate whether water is required or not required. But you just don't need to worry about that. This device takes care of it all. So just instead of talking about this device, let me show you how it works and how it looks. Now let's go through the components I've used in this device and its working. The first thing you can see here is, for this demonstration, I'll be using this bowl of dry soil. This is the soil moisture sensor. I've used a servo motor over here. This is the DC pump. Here is the entire circuit. I'll be dwelling deep into this later on in the video. Cable to connect to the laptop, and in the laptop I'll be showing you all the moisture percentages on the serial monitor. Now let's see what happens as soon as I connect the USB cable. So what we are expecting here is that as this is dry soil, the soil moisture sensor should detect that it's dry and the pump should start working. The use of this servo here is to continuously turn the pipe back and forth, so that the water is not concentrated in only one area and continues to spread all around. In this kind of project where we are using a very small pot, it hardly matters, but then in bigger gardens or in places where you have crops, it plays a vital role to distribute the water evenly. So let's start this circuit and let's see the results. As you can see, it detected that there's less water. It starts pumping. And it stops. Because the sensor has detected that water is enough, so it stops over there and the circuit is complete. Now let's go well deep into the circuit to see how it works. As you can see, the moisture percentage is here as well. Let me scroll through them. They are showing 67. It started with 4 and now it's ranging up to 67. When I disconnect the circuit, you'll be able to see it more better. So it started off with 4%. That was the actual percentage of the moisture in the soil. And as I increase it, as the water was pumped, it has reached 69%, 68%, and the water level has kept increasing. So now let's go deep into the circuit and see what all parts I've used inside this box. So these are all the components in the entire project. The Arduino being the most main, which is a microcontroller and controls the entire circuit and its working. Then I have also used a breadboard, which is an interface between the IC and the Arduino. As you can see, there is a L293D IC chipset over here. The IC actually acts like a middleman between the batteries, two 9-volt batteries, a DC pump, a servo. It acts like a middleman between these components and the Arduino. The IC helps in reducing the voltage so that the pump can work perfectly, pump and servo can work perfectly, and helps in the total running of the entire circuit. The sensor, however, is connected directly to the Arduino, not through the IC. As you can see, I've made additional parts over here through which the sensor is connected. Actually, all this was enclosed inside the box. And now that we have gone through the entire circuit, let us discuss the code. So now that we have got a good information about the working as well as the parts used inside this project, let's see the code or the back-end programming. So I've opened up the code. This is a C++ code. I've opened it up in Arduino IDE. The first thing I did is include the servo motor library because I'm using a servo motor in this project. Then I tell that A1 or the analog 1 pin in the Arduino is used for the sensor, and I name my servo as my servo. In the void setup region, I make things available for printing the serial monitor, as well as declare all the pins used for the pump as well as the servo motor. Then in the void loop region, this entire part of the code has to do with the working of the sensor and how it senses the soil moisture. In the other part, I have set a if loop in which I have mentioned that if moisture percentage is less than 35, then the pump starts working. This code is for the pump. This entire code is for the pump. Along with the pump, I am also going to be using the servo. So this entire code is for the servo. And this actually happens for 4.5 seconds. This delay of 4500 shows that this actually occurs for 4.5 seconds. Afterwards, the pump automatically offs. As you can see, I have switched off the pump and I have switched off the servo using this command. Now let's move on to a few upgrades and models that we can develop using the same project. Now that you've seen the working and the code behind this device, let me actually show you a few more upgrades or models that we could incorporate in this device to make it work like a charm. Now imagine you have a tap in your garden or in your farmland. So what we could do is connect this circuit to a tap instead of a DC pump. In this way, we do not have to spend external space on a huge water source, but that could be completely covered by the tap, which would just irrigate all the plants. So that's a lot of space that we are cutting down on. Coming to model number 3, instead of using Arduino and breadboards, a lot of jumper cables, etc., we could just use a custom printed circuit board which could pretty much reduce the size so that if we are working with very minimal space, it would be more efficient. And yeah, we could swap out the components. Instead of using a huge Arduino like this, we could definitely use an Atmega 328P chip. And instead of using a motor shield or a motor driver, we could definitely use an IC, which I did in this project. But coming to model 3, as you see, the IC makes the jumper cables or the number of jumper cables much higher and makes it a bit more complicated of a design. So to make it more simpler, I suggest using a motor shield or a motor driver. In this way, we are not cutting down on space really because the motor shield is much bigger than the IC. But then the advantage is it is simpler to understand and more organized. And as a beginner, if you're a beginner doing this project, it is very, very helpful to keep things organized and simple. Now, if you don't know what's a L293DIC, a motor driver or a motor shield, here are its images. To conclude, I would like to thank you all for watching this video all this while, and I hope through my project I was able to solve the problems faced by some of you, or at least inspire you to create your own projects. Till the next video, this is Pranav signing off for now. Thanks for watching.